Hero's entrance into Moonfall, or perhaps maybe Trevor, Sultan Battery, and then you get the Hero's entrance.
You have a lot of options available on the table. Your Team Secret can still go for what you've just mentioned, but now I'm looking into this Senna here, which could still go into support, and most likely Ninja 7 might just be the one going in for this pick. Now, to pair up with the Senna is going to be pretty important. They don't have the Gragas, so what exactly should they be going for in order to not only sustain the lane, but get some great trading being done, on top of offering huge amount of damage? But Team Secret, they have been thinking about this Fiora. Now, I really do wonder how would this actually fare against Kid, who's going to be playing on that Darius once again.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Whether or not we get to see a Galio towards Tetsuri, or will James play something else, something like a Braum that will help Kai'Sa survive the 2v2 lane, especially if this Senna, as you mentioned, could be paired with the Ziggs, or maybe we get to see another tank come in. We haven't seen the Nasus, we haven't seen the Singed being paired up anytime soon. And I just literally spoke too soon. Welcome back, Nasus Senna bot lane.
We have to wait till the lower brackets here to be able to see this dark technology that we've been raving about introduced in some other region before this, and it has been made popular. Now, let's talk about this Nasus pick here, because he's not going to be the one to go full AD at first. He's just going to max out the Spirit Fire, chunk out, get this lane to be dominating over the bottom side, and maybe this might overwhelm Team Secret.
Yeah, that's the thing about Senna lanes, Senna Nasus lanes, or in general, Senna versus and Singed lanes, right? It's basically having to neutralize the lane, therefore you can't exactly do anything because of poke, because of how tanky the Nasus is going to be, and the fact that it's a Kai'Sa and a Kai'Sa Nami lane, and therefore, again, hoping to just farm and chill out. And basically, the usual counters to a Senna Nasus lane is just aggression, possibly even dives, because again, the infinite scaling is going to be incredibly terrible for Team Secret, so of course they want to stop that before anything happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be really painful for Team Secret if they can't get that one up. But here we are. This could be match point. This could be the series for Team Secret, or one team could come back indeed. My Pinoy pride is really willing to go head on into this. I've had my dinner. I've had sisig. So casters, over to you guys.
Thank you very much there, Mika. Yes, indeed. We have ourselves a cheeky Nasus pick coming out for the first time across 3 weeks of competition. When I said, where on earth is it? We've had variations, we've had Malphites, we've had Gallios, we've had it all. But the Nasus is back to play.
Yeah, Big Dog is here, and I do like that one team, they opted to drop it all the way to 4-5, because this Nasus pick is not without counters, he's not without his own flaws. And one team, by dropping it so late in the draft before picking it, they find a very good spot for it. And look at what we're seeing on your screen right now, Skimmy. It's gonna be, I nearly say gaminism there, I'm too used to it, too used to casting with Big G. But
it's the ultimate compliment.
That is true, that is true. But look at this, it's gonna be a lane swap, but one team, they are aware that Team Secret have swapped their lane swap, so they're gonna for a lane swap again. It's a double lane swap.
Oh, wow. It's just a case of 2D chess becoming 4D checkers. Who can get the better lane swap and who can get the most uptime to actually hit some minions, actually push some waves, because so far it looks like we are defaulting back.
Okay.
The bait and switch has been completed. Yeah. And top lane now becomes bot.
Top lane now becomes bot indeed, and I think Team Secret, they're gonna be very happy with this one. They're gonna want the Nami matchup into the Senna Nasus. It's not the best lane, but it's also one where you can free scale and you can use the range advantage of the Nami to really just keep poking down this Nasus. Like I said, he's not without his flaws. He relies on his passive to hit creeps, to lifesteal. A range champ like Nami can do really well into that, and that's why you see James pull out this pick, which is really not his style. He's been favoring these engages. He's been favoring being the shot caller, the one that pulls the trigger for his team, but he recognizes that this is a great matchup that he needs to take.
Yeah, it was a huge pivot, very uncharacteristic pivot from him across what has been his style of this tournament, but fit to the point. You know, you buff up the Kai'Sa, and the Kai'Sa can get aggro and not really feel the burden of being traded out in these early portions of the game. So they're going to be AFK on an island, just farming up that siphoning strike and saying, just you wait, give me a few minutes, I'll rock up with a Wither, and you won't be laughing much more.
Exactly, and something you gotta keep in mind as well, when you play Senna Nasus, you are scaling forever. The scaling does not stop. You have the stacks, on both Senna's passive as well as Nasa's Q, and they're just gonna be happy hitting creeps, farming up, scaling until they hit a point of no return. Now the question for Team Secret is on the other side of the map, can Azar's Fiora be the be-all end-all for the team comp basically? Because if you want to play a dive like the rest of Team Secret's comp is, you want to dive into one team, it's gonna be a tall order. Like you mentioned, the Widow is gonna be so impactful onto Chewy. You have a bunch of zone control with Ziggs, with Nasus. It's gonna be so difficult for them to really start team fights that it really has to come down to Azar finding angles to end the game on sides.
He's pretty good at finding those angles, though, because
Yes.
we did see him jump into a Baron pit and just snag away a quad on, 10 HP?
He can definitely find ways to end the game. He can find ways to, just really push into the base and end it all. But the problem is, Kid has been playing pretty well today. Barring the misplay at the end of last game's team fight, I feel like Kid is someone who can definitely stem the tide, stem the bleeding of the side lanes.
Yeah, and what a time to have that mistake, right? When you're
Yeah.
playing so flawlessly throughout the entire game and then realizing, oh, wait, down for 30 seconds. Not the best time to make a blunder. But they've had a chance to reset and hopefully come in with some brand new ideas for game 2, where Team Secret have said, we know that this Vi is a high priority. We'll remove that one. Zhonyo now onto that Lee Sin. And they've dropped something a little bit creative here to try and get themselves back into the fold of things. So we're going to continue our perspective of Kid battling up the Azar. That's a nice little riposte to try and win out that trade, which he does so. And see if this Lee Sin's here to play.
Yeah, I don't think they'll want to go for a dive here. That's gonna be very sketchy indeed, but it seems like Xianyu and Kid, they want this.
Yeah, but look at the read that Azar
Yeah.
has, right? He realizes that Kid's playing a lot more
Ooh,
aggressively now
Spidey
towards his wave, trying to
senses.
push it in to enable that, and he just goes, this does not seem characteristic. You just lost that trade heavily. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, really good Spidey senses from Azar that recognizes that my jungler is at the other side of the map. I cannot be playing too aggressively here. This is their timing to kill me. So really good read from Azar. We have to say though, he's been playing phenomenally here today. In his series against SBTC, he was basically the one that won numerous games with Team Secret, and he kept them holding on really when their team was falling so far behind. Now Team Secret, can they do it here again today? Can Azar do it in their what could be their final match of the day?
Yeah, I mean, what a benchmark to set, right? To flesh out your resume up against one of the world's very best teams and say, you know what, I held my own. Actually, I'll go one step further. I outperformed. I did my job. And I made it as competitive as it really was, going all the distance to that game 5. Now, 4 minutes 40 into this one, the Dragon has been ignored again. Big preference towards this Herald, to be expected, especially when you've got a Ziggs in your composition. But that's not
want
about
this.
Team Secret starting things off. It's down to Smite range. That's gone. But
Wither.
one team still want the fight. There's the Wither onto a key target.
Look at mid lane
Azar will
those,
copper
Gimme.
roots, and he's just gone. So they're just going to push mid wave, instant summon their Heralds. And that turret, when it's low, one Satchel charge and it's gone.
Yeah, one Satchel charge away from dropping. Oh, not quite. I think it's like 50 to 60 HP off. I did a bit of math on this, but I do not remember numbers, so I'm gonna have to think back to that another time. And like I said, that's my favorite part about Kai'Sa. When you have the wards in mid lane, you're just gonna be canceling recalls all day. That's exactly what Chewy does here, and I think he's gonna be happy to really just extend the laning phase here as long as he can.
So it can be. I think it's like, 25% or so on those turrets. It's something around that area. It's lethal. It's critical. It's low. That's what we're going to say. And that's all you need to know, because it will fall on down eventually, but not just
Soon
yet.
enough.
So, you know what the real painful moment of this, though, will be is we don't have a soul tracker or a stack
Yeah.
counter. We don't really know exactly how strong this Senna or Nasus is.
That's
The only
true.
real true gauge we have is, one day they're going to rock up, hit him with one strike and said, oh, did you feel that? Have you woken up? Do you have a headache now?
We won't be able to see the exact numbers, but we'll know when we see it. That's the best part of this. You don't really
We
know
can
until you know.
guesstimate.
We can guesstimate, that is true. I want to see what one team want to do right now, though, because I do have to point out that while the Senna Nessus are going to be scaling really well in this game, they don't have a true source of AD damage. They don't have a true source of, consistent DPS unless Senna gets hyper-scaled into the late game. So we're talking like 15-20 minutes in-game before the Senna really takes over and becomes that late-game AD damage threat. So the problem is, Xianyu and Kid, they're going to really need to be doing a lot in these early mid-game teamfights.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, a big onus on them to try and get the ball rolling like they did before, right? Kid got that crazy double kill to start things
Yeah.
off and never really dropped the ball from that point onwards, apart from that last play. Look, we've said it a few times now, unlucky kid. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
It does.
But Lee Sin can certainly drive that tempo as well, right? Has the Yomus. And might realize that I've been assault and batteried onto walls. There's a tidal wave to follow things up. There's the Hero's Edge.
Huge.
Oh, a triple root from the center. And the Mega Inferno Bomb to follow things up. And that is just a tidal switch that says we will win this
Skinny.
team fight. We've only taken one. They should have taken more. And they'll have to settle for the second prize, which is a turret.
Skimmy, that's a heartbreaker there for Kid because his ultimate got cancelled. Chewie died before he could dunk him, and his out went on CD. Look at how low the members of Team Secret were right there.
Yeah.
If he got the reset, he might have just popped off that fight.
I think you could have. We have seen so many moments like this where teams really get away when it shouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
But credit where credit is due. Happy days for them, and they'll be breathing a big sigh of relief.
Indeed, and Team Secret, they are not exactly super far behind, just 2,000 gold behind, but the big thing we would need to be paying attention to is Azar's gold gap is growing. 7,000 gold now, or rather 700 gold behind Kid. It's not really the best spot to be in, but if Kid keeps finding these kills, keeps finding these turrets, he's going to be very happy facing off against the Fiora in the side lane. He won't be able to kill her, but Fiora won't be able to push, and that means that the rest of One Team's team composition is going to be very happy with a stalemate in the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily designed to, win out that matchup. More so a goalkeeper. You're just holding
Indeed.
that bay and saying you can't score that goal, and the goal being sieging and backdooring our base. So as long as he's, tanky and strong enough to hold his own, allow the rest of the team to play to their win condition, then they'll call it even.
That's the best way I've ever heard it put, Skimmy. Props to you for that one. I always say, play it stable, play it weak side, do your job, hold the turret, but goalkeeper just surmises all that out.
I think everyone can relate, right? We talk about esports, but we can bring it back to the OG days, the boomer days of traditional
Boomer
sport once in a
days.
while.
Indeed, and with that said, you got to keep in mind as well, the Team Secret, this is far from a boomer team. They are as close as you can get to a Zoomer team. They're all young, they're all talented. We need to see the mechanics of them in this game because a lot of their team composition is going to be reliant on the big pop-offs from Azar, from Chewie, and they need to pull that out here.
Yeah, young and hungry for success, as we've already seen so far. And they are going to work their way towards their very first target of the game, much to assistance there of Tatsuri bodyguarding and protecting. But it does mean they have to sacrifice some pressure on the map, which results in the second dragon going the way of one team.
Not the end of the world yet for either one of these teams. Still a pretty slow game. Quite the stalemate we have going on right now. One team, they want to contest, but they don't want to commit too hard to the contest because their team comp wants to play in lanes. They don't want to get caught in the jungle. They don't want to get caught in the river. Stay within your lanes. Stay within your zones. You're going to be generally safe. Let TS dive into you. They'll have to dive through so much zone control. Now Azar's in trouble.
Well, he is, as a four-man collapse is about to go on through. There's a nice knockback. The riposte buys time, but time is not enough when an axe comes crashing on down. And the Baron has spawned. Now, here's an
wanna do
interesting discussion. Do they rush the Baron, given that Team Secret is still sieging?
Team Secret are still down here. Surely you have to be aware of it at this point. If one team are not touching the top turret, you know what they're doing. You see them on the Scuttle Crab vision. It's going to be so slow, though, because like we mentioned, one team don't have that AD DPS. They have to back off.
They're all in. No,
Finish
the
Baron,
Inferno
finish
Bomb
Baron.
went out, and now they have to try and turn things around. Oh no, Team Secret, are they going to contest? Are they going to steal? Are they going to claim this as their own? Thanks for the leash. The fight breaks out. The Baron is still
Look at
there,
Daniel.
but the Dawning Shadow comes on through. Look at Lee Sin. Sonic Wave
Oh,
is
he gets
prepped and ready. The fire's gone, and the smite comes through, and one team are grateful that the flip goes their way. Now can they back away?
Zar.
Can they hold on to these buffs? Kids, look at his HP. Oh no.
What is this team fight, Skimmy? I don't really know what we could talk about because like 600 things just happened in the span of 5 seconds. We are definitely going to want to see a replay of that fight. It was pretty nuts from start to finish. Right now, Baya not even going for the wave, just wants to hit Chewie, tells him you have to back away. And let's try to take stock of what happened in this team fight. Look at how low the Baron dropped, and then objective change here from Team Secret. Tatsuri wants to finish, but Trevor was too far out. He got caught by the Widow. With that said, Tatsuri as well, he tried to save his jungler, but Baron knocked him up. MVP Baron leashed this entire time. Cienio sneaks around the back, finds an angle, steals the Baron, which was theirs to begin with, and one team, they might not win the fight, but they trade evenly, and they get the Baron, which I think they're going to be so happy with, because Fiora hates playing into Baron buff.
He just got no scope there.
Oh, he did.
And out goes the missile and bang, thanks for the kill. That's another Baron buff removed. That was crazy.
It was.
That went the distance. That had it all. They were fighting on Baron with Vision against them, saying, you know exactly where we are. Come find us.
Yeah, we don't care. We're going to challenge you here. And at the end of the day, Xianyu was the one who did pick up the Baron. And when we talk about the flaws of Vi, we saw it right there in action. When she goes in, she cannot come out. You have to rely on Tatsuri to save her. But Brother Baron, MVP Baron, knocks up the Galio, stops that all from happening. Trevor gets taken down and Xianyu steals away his own Baron. It's great stuff. It's not the cleanest gameplay, but it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, the Baron really acting as the sixth member on their
Indeed.
team here. They've been perhaps paid off, you know, playing on their turf, saying that you're not allowed here. And we are going to grant those that start things off here first, the buff ultimately. And actually putting a fair bit of work in with this Baron buff. 3 times to 2 so far. Not the biggest lead to ride home about, but it's the fact of look at these side lanes. Look at top, look at bot.
What is this?
And now they're fighting mids. This is beautiful. Xianyu jumps on through, goes golden, baits out all the time. Nice bubble, doesn't really mean much. As the Dawning Shadow comes on through to deter any form of aggression. And the side lane still putting in work.
I can't help but feel like this might be a bit too aggressive there from Xianyu. He tries to kick Azar back into his team, but like we mentioned, Zuma team, they have the mechanics. He repulsed the kick and he's gonna be fine, but that means that the play is over for the side of one team because they invested too many resources. They should just slow down, take a breather, poke out Team Secret within the lanes, and they should be A-okay. With that said though, Dragon's gonna get started out. Our one team gonna make it in time.
But I don't know if they need to meditate Team Secret, if they want to try and, you know, take some breathing lessons and calm down because they need to go full tempo. Match point is what they're on right now. And a gold lead far shorter than what they've experienced so far as Trevor secures their second dragon. He might fall down for this one, knows the whip at the flash. And they're dragged back to say, where on earth are you going? You're going to fall on down. It's just
Nowhere to
another
run.
day in the life of a jungler.
It is, right? He secures it with his smite, but he pays for it with his life. 30 seconds on Trevor, but 10 seconds on Dragon means that one team, they want to rush this. They're happy losing the Dragon if it means they pick up the Baron. There is a ward on it, and I think Team Secret, they will want to contest. But can they take this fight in a 4v5?
One team will be feeling pretty confident about their chances, given, as you say, that there is no smite. So they're going to start things off. Trevor has just picked up the teleport, so he's keen.
10
It's all about the
seconds.
rest of his
He's
team
gonna
now,
make it.
buying time to find it. Can they do that?
He's going to make it for sure. There's 10 seconds to go. Team Secret, they're going to keep poking, and I think Blascone in. There we go.
Bubble goes up. Tatsuri looking for a big
Oh, it's
knock-up. There's
over.
the tidal wave getting closer and closer to that Baron range. There goes the explosive mega cast. What a damage there.
He did get it
Smite
again.
managed to steal it. No, Bias secures it. It's not even a jungle secure. The mid laner gets it. As the Clear Instinct comes on through and Chewie tries to be the hero, trying to remove all these Baron buffs. He's taking out 2. The top side collapsed. I don't know if they'll find much more, but look at the lane
Azar.
state. It's bounced against them.
He might even get the inhib here. They're going to need to send Baya over to try to catch this one out, but Azar might look for an all-in. I think he's going to play it safe, though. Okay.
Deary me, this game really does have it all. If you want an emotional lesson, then welcome to the Sea Champs, because you can have the happy days, you can have the sad days, and you can have the tense days where your chest gets a little bit tight
That's
because
me
you're
right
quite
now.
unsure what you're watching.
Yeah, I had to take a second there to get a breather because I don't really know even what kind of game state we're in. If you ask me right now who's winning this game, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't think
I mean,
either.
the simple answer that Twitch chat will say is, oh, just look at the gold lead, Omo. It's dead even.
It's basically
But it's so
dead
much
even.
more than that.
Yeah, the turrets are basically even. You're 2 off. The kills are basically even. They're trading 1 to 2 dragons. The kills are 1 or 2 off. Gold is a couple hundred off. It's just such a close game. And if you ask who has the better scaling here, I'll tell you that one team has the better teamfight scaling, but Team Secret have the better scaling on the side lanes. So who really wins this game? I have no clue. And that's what makes it so fun to watch.
It's worth noting, as we do take that breather, that Trevor has gone back to base, sold the TP,
Yes,
and
yes.
reinvested in that Gargoyle stone plate. So he's put himself back a little bit, but the goal was quite heroic, right? It was the right play to try and steal that one.
Oh, here we go.
Right, he's going to break out once again, and that is
Oh,
Trevor
Ninja.
jumping in very aggressively, looking to try and make a play so far. But Ninja dropped in a heartbeat, crashed
man.
down as the Galio destroys him. But another big knock-up. Not going to be much more than that. And 3 members have to walk away again. I mean, Team Secret's target selection has been phenomenal.
It has. It truly has. And Ninja 7 and Siu have been getting caught out by playing too aggressive. Team Secret, their team fight sense is just so good. They know when to go, how to go, where to go, who to go on. They know it all. They do it so well. And that's been paying off huge for them here. I think it's a little bit curious that Team Secret didn't want to push it any further in a 3v5. You saw them hugging the top side, staying away. But who can blame them after we saw Kit and Baya 3v5 them in the last game as well? So wanting to play it safe, they already took a team fight win. They know they can just do it again. Just rinse and repeat. Every single time one team want to siege on you, if they don't bring enough people, you just pull the trigger and go.
Yeah, I mean, it seems a bit of a concern, right? That, as you've mentioned already here, Omo, that Team Secret can play towards those side lanes, but they're winning team fights, and that just feels illegal.
Yeah, it's really crazy that they're winning team fights, but I think that comes down to the fact that one team, they're not allocating their manpower properly. They have people split up across the wrong sides of the map, and you have to consider that Team Secret, their engage is basically instantaneous. One team, they need to be in position. Here we go into Baya.
Here we certainly do go. It's Divider jumps in, and the Galio that comes crashing on down. A tidal wave to try and prevent the re-engage and the turnaround. And Tatsuri locks them all in place with a flash taunt and says there's nowhere to run or hide. Siu, the Nasus is dead. He's been farming for 18 minutes. He's going to stare at a grey screen now for 46 seconds. Can they find a trade back? They find one. But the dunk goes on the cooldown, and that's it.
But this should be the Elder Dragon here for Kid Skimmy. For the side of Team Secret Skimmy. I've lost track of what's going on in this game. But I feel like Ciennial might try to steal it. It's just that look at where Team Secret are positioned. Hames and Azar, they're not going to let him anywhere close.
2 stacks already of that Drake. Nice 2-man route. Doesn't really mean much rather than
they're sending it. They're
buying time. They're buying space. Ninja's just going to die for his sins. Kicks back the Fiora. The Fiora's taking those 1v1s. This is where a Fiora does shine. Azar is smurfing. Azar is goalkeeping. And he may, in fact, just be gatekeeping one team's chances of advancing through in this series. One by one, they fall on down. The TP comes on through. The Elder Mountain's gone. It's gone. Janyo can't contest. The Ziggs rocks up. The Ziggs falls down for 50 seconds. That looks like game.
I think that's game here, Skimmy. They might want to back off, pick up the Baron as well while they're at it. They don't want to risk destroying the game. They are on match point, series point. This guarantees they move forward another step to go up against Flash Wolves. Now, keep in mind here, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. Back in play-ins, Flash Wolves was the team that eliminated the Philippines' #2 seed in Fennel Adversity. Team Secret, they want to knock out one team, and if they win this matchup, they go up against Flash Wolves for a chance to avenge their fallen brothers. They don't want to risk throwing the game. They're going to play it by the book. They get the Elder, they get the Baron, and they might get the series win here.
Justice for Fennel Adversity and justice for the full best of fives. Perhaps that is really the narrative we're building right now. It's Filipino Pride as they are pridefully winning this game. They are taking members down. And as we said before, they are winning team fights, and it looked like pure desperation there for one team flooding the Drake pit to say, we have to do something.
It was truly desperation, and the last TP in there from Baya as well, I have nothing to say except full send it, right? There's no way you're calling that with a rational, clear head and say that this is the right play. It's pretty much just one team. We have to full send it. We cannot give this Dragon. We already threw the last game. We are desperate. We need something. We cannot throw this game too, and they just full sent it. Team Secret, amazing team fights from them consistently throughout the series, and I feel like that has been their calling card so far. They might not play the cleanest macro, but they do good traits. They know where to be on the map. It might not be their specialty, but they do it well enough. What they do insanely well, and I think they might be one of the best teams here at it, is team fight. And what I would personally love to see is a series between Team Secret and Boomerang.
We may one day get that. Maybe later on in this tournament, because it's knocking on the front door. The devil is here, and the devil don't play. It's keen. It's taken down one. It's looking for a second. Look at the 4-1 split so far as Fiora continues to push down the top side. A 2-man wave! And they look to place. They're gone. They're dead. They're out of it. Their chances of a miraculous turnaround in a reverse sweep in such a fragile best-of-3 situation is gone. Team Secret are knocking on that front door. They're taking down an Nexus, and they're taking the series 2-0.
And Team Secret, things look